it's difficult to really get the right information on,
Definitely.
what do I do? Where do I start?
Hey,
When should I
the
really start?
expectations?
What are the expectations? And when should I really start preparing myself? Like we're in the blue. In high school, you are literally in the blue. So today we are coming to wipe your faces. Greetings everyone, I'm your host Nadia Lubemba at Edu-Knowledge Exchange Podcast. Today in studio I have the honor of being with my fellow host and colleague, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Edu-Knowledge Maswanganyi. It's an honor and gratitude to be on this platform, Edu-Knowledge Exchange Podcast. I'm your host and thank you so much, Miss Nadia.
Pleasure, the pleasure is really mine. You seem to be so excited. So please tell us, what are you excited about?
I'm excited that we are beginning a journey where we ought to provide a platform where our people from different societies ought to engage with us and get to learn about the experiences, the challenges, or the events that are occurring within the higher education field. So I'm super excited that we are beginning a platform where we ought to share the knowledge about
Absolutely.
higher education.
Yes. And I like the enlightenment part because, we need to enlighten our society.
Yes.
So many people, there's a lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge, definitely.
Yeah. And so it seems like, I don't know, there's no shortage of knowledge because it's limited. That's the problem. And especially to high schoolers and people who want to pursue tertiary education, it's difficult to really get the right information on,
definitely.
what do I do? Where do I start? When should
What are
I
the
really start?
expectations?
What are the expectations? And when should I really start preparing myself? Like we're in the blue. In high school, you are literally in the blue. So today we are coming to wipe your faces, and you're gonna know exactly what you need to know because we're going to be hosting people,
Yes.
And those people will really provide us with, every overview of everything that you need to know. So we're going to be good. After this, we're going to be good because we're going to be learning from each other's experiences.
From each other, definitely. And I believe that this platform, as it provides guests who have experiences, particularly graduates, who will enlighten us as to what did they encounter in their academic journey. And as this platform, essential as it is, it will also get to inform people who have no knowledge about higher education.
Exactly.
So basically it will be providing that information about higher education, the challenges, what are the experiences, what are the events that are occurring within the space of education.
I absolutely agree. I think that, people should grab this as an opportunity because when we were in high school, we didn't have these kind of opportunities.
Yes.
And how many teachers can you count from secondary school that told you things that you came to university and you were like, I'm lost?
They actually told us that, university is where you get to experience
life.
Soft life. Everything is very soft. There's nothing that you're going to experience. They never informed us about the challenges as to how do we navigate it, how do we find ourselves within higher education. And so this platform, we have provided it to open that discussion, where we ought to dive into academic discussion. What is transpiring? What are the events? How do you get to navigate such challenges? Where did you get to win? Where did you lose yourself in the journey of
absolutely.
education?
Absolutely.
So this is a platform where we ought to dive into that. So it's a great one. And of course, I want to encourage our viewers and listeners to like, share, subscribe, and not to forget to turn on the notification so that they get to be alerted when we post.
Yes, absolutely. Turn on that notification button because we're definitely going to be diving into something that's going to add value to your life or somebody you know. So share. I will encourage people to share. If you're a parent, share this to your children. If you're a teacher, share with your students. If you're a big sister, share with the community.
With everyone. You know what? It's a great one, because we are emphasizing.
So, Henny, since this podcast is about, the current affairs that students are having at, tertiary institutions, give us a little insight on your, life in tertiary education, as a first-year student.
To give an overview insight of that experience is that the worst and the good one. The worst one is that I did not attend the orientation, of which was said to be so essential that first year students attended. Even if you are not a first year as a student, you still need to get to know your campus. So I didn't get a chance to attend that. Fast forward, when classes commenced, I got lost. I couldn't identify where the building that I'm supposed to attend to is at. I didn't know how attending processes take place. I didn't know how to project myself in classroom, for the very first time. And I believe that for orientation, that was the purpose. They provided an inside view as to these are the expectations. This is how you're going to begin, and this is how you're going to handle yourself. I didn't attend, and so the experience was one of the worst one which I had. And I thought, like, you know what, the university that has said it's not actually what I expected or predicted.
Oh, gosh.
So that was one of the most traumatizing moments at the time. But fortunately, I managed to find myself and adjust within that space. I agree
with that, because I remember when I did my first year, and the first week of orientation, I was like,
you attended orientation?
I attended orientation, but then it was 5 days of orientation, right? And I told myself, since I'm an Asian, because everybody used to think I'm my sister on campus. So people will be like, you already know this campus, go to whoever. Telling me names I don't know. So I was like, I'm not going to attend all 5 days. No, I don't have time for people calling me my sister's name. I'm going to go. I think I went 2 days. The first and the last day.
Why is that?
Bruh, ask me what I missed.
What did you miss?
Because the first day was fun, right? Introduction.
The
last day was a party, right? In the middle, I didn't know how to do APA referencing.
You thought the purpose of you going there was just to mingle, socialize, and get to find yourself.
I did not know that there's actually some seriousness in orientation.
Because how it began.
So I thought we were just gonna jolly, have fun.
And then you just said, no,
my friends were like, you must. They showed us how to OA. And you know what, I learned during primary and high school, I learned how to use Word. But now we're using Doc and Sheets.
Oh, yes.
And
now there are direct instructions as to this is how you utilize it. And you missed that opportunity because you thought that it was the orientation is all about joy finding yourself. But it's actually about informing you about campus life, about how to navigate yourself.
So that's why I just it was like it was just, I was in class and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, and I have my friend. I would always ask her, please girl, please sit next to me, because she knows that she has to help me.
That's likewise, that's likewise, because for me, because I also did not attend, I mean, during the first time when we began with this module where they teach us about referencing and all about the academic tools which are utilized within higher education, I couldn't comprehend that quickly as others did, those who attended orientation. Why? Because it was beneficial to them that now it's actually like a repetition. So as much as we are beginning this journey of informing our people from different angles, whether it's a student, current student, graduate, or whoever you are, you might have missed such moments, and now you ought to reflect, and upon arrival on this podcast you get to share, and perhaps of course you get to motivate our viewers and listeners as to this is how you should handle yourself, so that you don't get to miss your university life and come with regret to say, I did not put these things into practice.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
I absolutely agree with you, because university life is completely different from high school. In high school, you get to school, you already have like a, I don't know, timetable. You know that and then I go home. Extra classes, punishments. In university, there's no punishments. The punishment is going to be when your results come out. And then you see that, so I'm falling short in a certain module. And then you're like, what? Now you need to deal with it.
Because too much.
It's almost like last minute things.
Yeah, but what can you motivate our viewers and listeners about your first year experience?
Well, I would actually encourage viewers and listeners to utilize all the tools that you have, all the opportunities that are available or make themselves available to you. Use them. Student affairs is there to help and support you. They are not your enemies. All the people that you see wearing ANC and EFF, those people, as much as they might want you, to put your signature down or be part of their group chat, those are the people you go to. Those are the people who are going to help you in times that you are in trouble. So I don't understand why students, or you find other students, they're like, close to themselves. When they're in trouble now, they're like, oh, I message SRC, they're not on. Hey, make them close to you. You need them.
So, sorry to interrupt you, but because that one is mostly common in higher education, universities or colleges and universities of technologies, how do we get then to inform the people who have not yet transitioned from high school to higher education? How do they get to know those things? How do we tell them that this is a way in which you must project yourself for university expectations and this is how you should prepare yourself?
You know what? It's all about being street smart. That's what I'm going to say. I'm personally street smart because you're not going to lie to me. You're not going to rob me. Yes. But some people are very, I don't know if it's introverts or what, but it doesn't benefit you at the end of the day. When you go to university, you are struggling with something or you get lost on campus, the campus is big. Either way, you have to ask for help. So in everything that you need or you're doing an assignment, ask for help. Because either way, those people ask for help, and if they didn't ask for help, they read for help. Nobody knows. We are all just trying to find our way here.
Definitely.
And you know what? At this point, I'm going to encourage our viewers, if you're a university student or you're a graduate, please comment on your first year experience and just the first 2 or 3 months. How was it? How did you get lost through campus? Tell us. Hey,
you usually hear many of them to say, you know what, I couldn't even attend my classes for the first 2 months because I didn't know where I had to attend. We're surely waiting for that, but we hope that time to time people get to navigate themselves. And for this podcast, I hope that it will reach. Since you mentioned that people should be able to socialize and ask for help, and I believe that this podcast will be an opportunity for those who are actually afraid to familiarize themselves and to realize that indeed assistance does assist, because the guests which will host here will share their experiences, and of course those might align with the personality of our viewers and listeners, which you find that they say, I can't ask for help, I rather die on this thing. So I believe that this platform will actually provide for that insight to say, you know what, this is what I actually need. You see, so I encourage our viewers to be on this platform time to time. Check for the uploads, check your timeline, will actually flood there. But the most important part is that how do we then get to empower those who face challenges in universities or in higher education in overall? Like you might find that one viewer or two has not yet transitioned from university, from high school to university, actually in the position of questioning myself, how do I then project myself for the first few weeks? How do I position myself to
navigate the whole system? And you know what, also some question that they will probably be asking themselves is, how do I even begin? A lot of people ask themselves that question, and if you live in a big city, I don't think you ask that question very often. But in small towns, you think about like, oh no, I have to go study maybe in KZN or in a big city in Durban, in Cape Town, in Joburg or in Pretoria, and you just think, how do I start? And there are not many people who facilitate in these kind of things. Maybe in your community or in your street, there's 1 or 2 guys who attended college or something like that. And then everybody goes to him, but he's so busy, and he really tries to help us. But I would personally encourage people to do research, because, we want to encourage people to be learned. And the only way you're going to be learned is by doing research. And I did research. I did research about what I want.
Regardless of those challenges that you encountered during your commencement of academic, how are your academics currently? How are you navigating yourself?
You know what? Actually, I'm getting the hang of it. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing myself because initially I wanted to study nursing.
Okay.
And now I'm studying business administration.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about business. Nothing about finance. Nothing about accounting.
Ish.
And then now, you have to work hard.
Yes.
If you put in the effort, you'll see the results. So, I put in the effort. So, I'm seeing the results here and there. I'm not going to complain at all.
And that's how you balance yourself.
I balance myself well, because I have to. I'm like, come on. I've been jumbling things ever since, So it's not something that gives me much stress, but it's things that you can get lost very easily.
That's a great plot twist. And I believe that most or majority of the guests which will be hosting will also be in the same position that applies to you, to share an insight overview as I transitioned from the career choice which I desired to fulfill, and then beginning with this one which I encountered, whether by coincidence or perhaps by being motivated, this is how I got to navigate myself. And I best believe that it will be beneficial for our viewers and listeners, as you do not forget to like, share and comment, and perhaps, and of course, do not forget to bring out your perspective about our discussions of this podcast.
Well, I've heard everything you say, but I also want to know, tell me more. How are you doing academically?
Academically, I'm coming together. I'm balancing, unlike during the time of academic year, but now I am in a position to balance time. Currently I'm doing well, not just well, but I'm able to familiarize myself with events that are transpiring within higher education. So now I am able to navigate time. I am able to differentiate between concepts that these belong to this particular sector, and this is how I navigate myself whenever I encounter challenges, and this is where I get assistance. So currently academically I'm not pressurized as much as I was before trying to adjust to higher education environment. And so to conclude to you, currently I'm actually balancing.
Oh, so basically you're saying that you're thriving, but you're saying it in a humble
way.
Not
necessarily.
I got you. Okay, so let me ask you, you spoke about balance now, a lot of people struggle with balancing social life and school. So how are you doing it?
There's no strategy. I mean, it's nature to me. It just gets to happen. I mean, I get to, I'm not a social person.
Okay.
I'm just an easy person to interact with. So I actually do not divide myself into social and academic. I actually invest my time to what is actually beneficial to me. And of course, that's academic related activities. So with social, I just socialize when it's necessary. We socialize online.
Okay, sir. I hear what you're saying, but because it's very important. It's very important to socialize.
To know people.
Otherwise, you're gonna die of depression.
You consult your close friends. So that actually I don't have a problem with social life. And
that's good. As long as you have a balance between the two, because it's easy to get lost in your social life and you forget about your academics. And then one time we see, hey, Henny's flopping.
Most importantly, you forget what brought you here.
Exactly.
So I'm actually happy that the podcast will actually be in a position to outline, unpack what are the things that are happening within higher education, and how do we get to navigate ourselves
through it.
How do we get to go through it, as you mentioned. So I'm actually excited that we are beginning a journey where we provide a platform to discuss that insight overview.
Well, our time is finishing, so let's wrap up.
That was so early. But of course, we encourage our viewers and listeners to stay tuned, as we will upload on Thursdays each and every week. So continue to like, share, and comment as we continue to share, learn, and engage on this platform, Edu-Knowledge Exchange Podcast.
And of course, stay tuned, because we have an awesome list of guests who are lined up here, who will be sharing the knowledge. They will be pouring it out on us. And you and I do not want to miss that, because we'll be learning so much from the experiences and their wise words. So absolutely stay tuned, and of course, always be with us.